a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the iRacing Esports Network and welcome to the first of 4 races in the British Sim Racers Mazda MX5 Autumn Cup. We're here at the Phoenix International Raceway, not on the road course, but on the oval. And instead of the traditional oval, which we've got in the NASCAR Cup Series, we're racing on the layout from pre-2008. Joining me, Adam Bath, in the commentary box for this one is Chaz Draycott with Alex Simpson, iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series driver, doing the cameras tonight for the 4 races that we've got with a reverse grid wheel as well. Chaz, welcome. It's the BSR MX5. It's pretty chaotic on a regular week with all the racing on the road courses, but now we're going to add in that extra spice of racing on the oval as well as we get the points up on the screen.
Yeah, it's bound to be an exciting evening, full of many, I'd say, interesting manoeuvres I think we're going to see tonight, but yeah, these guys are always really close when they're on road courses, like you say, and putting them on oval, it's just a nice mix-up, I think. It might be a bit of a level field, a bit of a leveler in terms of the playing field, but we'll have to see what people can do. In terms of the grid, it looks not so mixed up at the moment. There's 1 or 2 cars that are up a bit higher than normal, maybe helped by a slipstream, as you can see there. Kip Cooper on pole position with Jamie Ayres second, Alex Cherney's third, George Simmons the highest am in fourth, with Carl Jacquelet up to fifth. Carl wouldn't mind me saying that that's normally not where he'd be on the grid as well. You've got Peter Angel 6th, Chepolewski 7th, Charlie Summers 8th, Steve Hefford 9th, and Nick McCarron rounding out the top 10. Then you've got Anthony Mott 11th, Adam Delmont 12th, Luke Cooper 13th, with Scott Malcolm 14th, Simon Nicastro 15th, Jason Cooper in 16th, Pete Newman is 17th, Laura Bond is 18th, with Adam McNally 19th, and it's Tyler Lugo Vickery who is rounding out your top 20. You've then got Mikel Garcia 21st, Marco Barbanera, one of our other Apex Racing commentators, is 22nd. Nick Barry is 23rd, Benjamin Mears 24th. Craig Jones 25th with Alessandro Dalladone 26th, Jordan Giddings 27th. Rob Graham is 28th with Jack McIntyre 29th, and Carl Hardy is 30th. You've then got Brian Holmes in 31st, Joe McDonald 32nd, Mikey Key 33rd, Josh Thompson is 34th with Jack Ashton 35th, Max Wright 36th, Dave Ayres 37th, Peter Knowles 38th, Dan Hunt 39th, Eric Stanford 40th, and Craig Cameron rounds out your 41 car grid, and that's a pretty big grid even compared to what these guys are used to having.
Yeah, credit to the BSR series. They always seem to hack out the grid, and we've pretty much got every single pit stall completed as well. I think the maximum we can get here is 43, and we've got 41 cars set to roll off for this one. Just the one pace lap, and then the safety car will peel into the pit lane, and we'll get the race underway. As you just heard, you're watching the BSR MX5 on the iRacing Esports Network. This is also Apex Racing TV as well. Make sure to check out all the stuff that we've been doing on there. It's our first broadcast on the iRacing Esports tonight, and you can see from the handy guys at the top the names that have got the blue stripe next to them. They are the pro drivers, and the ones that have got the green, they have got the AM. And as we get the timing tower up on the left, you can see that the highest AM driver is George Simmons. He's going to be starting in 4th, and of course Kip Cooper starting on the pole is the highest pro. Safety car coming into the pit lane then. Fields in the hands of Kip Cooper. Green flag is in the air, and race 1 of the day in the BSR MX5 Cup here at Phoenix is underway.
Decent start by Kip Cooper as well. Covers the middle line there. They're going 3 wide behind. That's Jamie Ayres, who's always quick in this car. And then you've got Kip Stevens as teammate. Sorry, it is Kip Stevens. I apologise. He seems to have had his name changed. You've got Alex Cherney 4th, Jacquelet 5th still. Van Gool is in 6th and Chepolewski is into 7th. He's just actually swapping places with Charlie Summers there as they start getting that sort of NASCAR style 2x2 all the way down. And It's going to be interesting to see how people's lines develop over the course of the race, actually, Adam. There was a few posts in the Facebook group, I believe, about just sort of giving people pointers on what to do, because obviously it's not their usual sort of stomping ground, is it?
And we're getting 3 wide already. They're going to try and put that to the test. Up the inside there is car 72, Steve Hefford. He's got Chepelevsky in the middle, and on the outside is car 36, Charlie Summers. You will notice one thing about this Phoenix circuit is that every single corner on this track is different. It's not like a conventional 1.5 mile oval. Every single corner requires a different amount of braking or maybe just lifting. And somehow that 3 wide scenario was able to be settled without too much contact. As we go out the final corner now, looks like things might be kicking off just slightly in front. The battle for second place, I believe, might be heating up. In fact, it's a battle for the lead, isn't it? Jamie Ayres versus George Simmons, Chaz. As we go through turn 1 and turn 2. Kip Stevens closing right up to the back, and now he's going to go to the bottom.
Yeah, Simmons has done a great job already up. Well, he was up 3 places until Kip Stevens got on back in ahead of him, though. But he's done really well so far. 3 wide for the lead. This is brilliant stuff. It's actually, I'd be quite interested to know how this MX5 handles when it clips the apron on the inside, because we've seen that it's easy to unsettle it before Simmons gets a little bit of a wobble on. Nearly 4 wide there, as that's one of the Swift Cooper cars down the inside. It is Charlie Summers. And he's got Jacqueline, and Chepelevsky's into him, and there we go. He's into him, and let's just see who goes down the order. There's contact there. That's another car. That's Dan Hunt into him there. He's going to bounce down the track. I don't know whether anyone else has clipped him, but that's a real shame to lose him from that one. Hopefully it doesn't last long enough for him to come back round, because it's not a very long lap here. But Jamie Ayres still challenging Simmons for the lead now, doing a really sterling job as always. I think he's probably just going to try and stay consistent and just stay up there, because it's quite easy to lose one place and then continue and lose another as we lose our eyesight as we go on board with Kip Stevens there. That really bright pink roll cage and tub of that MX5 is certainly a way to make sure you're identified properly, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, that is quite the unconventional paint scheme. Kip Stevens might be about to try an unconventional line. It was Chepelevsky that was the one in the middle, and then he just slid up into poor Carl Jacqueline, who couldn't really do anything about it. And then he was off for a wild ride. Got clipped by a Momo car as well on the way through. Biggest mover so far is Jack McIntyre. He's sat in 15th place, gained 14 positions since the race got underway. You can see there from the positions gains. There he is, sat in 15th, and he's got a bit of a gap to the next group in front. Everybody after that is literally, you could throw, as Andrew Woodhouse, one of our colleagues would say, a tea cozy over them. They are literally separated by hundredths of a second. That is the state of play at the front. Jack McIntyre is trying to keep everyone else at bay. 15-minute race then for race 1. You can see from the track map there. Oh, he's been hit. Oh, well done. He very nearly saved it, didn't he, Chaz?
Yeah, just about. He's actually been doing some real life racing in Ginetta's this week. He's been doing a program, I think it's called Want to Race, and he's been updating everyone with his progress on that. Don't quite think he made it through, but he was in the finals for it, so massive congrats to Jack for that, and he's just showing off some of his skill there. He's back at this front battle. Look at it. He's like, this group has broken away from the rest of them slightly, and it's 2 by 2, although it didn't quite look like it then. You've got Ayres and Simmons at the front, then you've got Chepelevsky and Hefford's in there now as well. Summers, Ayres all over the place here. Chepelevsky's coming down to the inside. Summers nearly in the wall. And it's number 19 car, so that's Alex Cherney now in second place.
Now that all started from the Momo car of Jamie Ayres trying to use the apron going through turn 3 and 4 and causing a bit of a bottleneck behind him. Chepelevsky had to take evasive action, and you can see that inside line has really suffered as a result. It's the cars on the outside that are now in the ascendancy, with the likes of Alex Cherney, as you were saying, Chaz, and Steve Hefford too. They're all teammates. They all drive for Momo. Hefford, Ayres and Chepelevsky. Van Gaal too, throw his name into the mix, and they are leading proceedings at the moment. They're trying to get past Alex Cherney though, and that's what's going on. We've got only 4 minutes completed this race so far, and got a feeling that this tension that is unfolding here in this opening pack is going to rise and rise until the closing stages of the race, and then they're going to be going hell for leather. 3 wide into turn 3. Is there grip out there? Well, Alex Cherney's desperate to find out. Up the middle goes Steve Hefford. In the middle is Alex Cherney. On the outside is car 63 George Simmons. Simmons is the one trying to forge her way through on the outside. Oh, look at Cherney throwing the car at turn 1. Somehow there's enough grip in those tyres, those low-profile tyres, and he's able to get it through the first corner without spearing off into the wall.
Yeah, you've just got to be really brave. We've seen a lot of times how easy it is to unsettle this MX5 as Hefford comes up quite far there, really putting the pressure on Cherney. Nearly makes contact with Simmons. He just doesn't want to wash wide there. They're really putting a lot of lock on and killing these tyres, so it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, we're only a third of the way through the race, it's going to be interesting to see how they get on towards the end and whether they kill these tyres or not. And that's going to show, I think, because some of these guys are a bit further back in this pack. Like, you've got the likes of Simon Nicastro's in there, Peter Van Gool, Scott Malcolm in there as well with Jason Cooper. Those guys might want to sort of hang back a bit and use the slipstream to their advantage so they're not putting too much strain on the car, and then make a run forward at the end as two of the Momo cars come really close together there. Great onboard shot here from Simmons then as he goes through the final corner. You can see he's not putting that much lock on, actually. These guys might have quite oversteery setups on, so they get the most out of that front end.
Yeah, they don't want to be ending up with a few laps to go just understeering into the wall. That's probably what the aim is. Deep effort, it says he's fourth there, but you wouldn't know it for a brief moment. It looked like he was in second, but that's because he's got so many cars on his outside that he can't really do anything about it. You're pinned down on the bottom in Steve Hefford's case. Oh, and he just had a bit of contact there with somebody, I think it looked like. And now Hefford's trying to close right onto the back of Sione, but for the time being, Chaz, it does look like that outside line. We're having to get to terms with this, of course, because we don't often do an oval broadcast, but the outside line is looking like the favourable line so far.
Yeah, I think with them being able to carry the momentum a bit better, it's helping them, because that back straight that isn't quite as straight has got a slight sort of dogleg in it a little bit. Oh, Chepelewski really, really close with Luke Cooper there. It probably won't hurt the car that much to just bang side by side, but they've got a great run off it. Look at Hefford, and Cooper's now made contact with Chepelewski, who's gone to the outside line. Really opportunistic stuff. Oh, makes his way through. Oh, he's hit Cherney. You can see the damage on the bonnet now as the bonnet's just been pushed up a little bit. But yeah, as you were saying, that front the front few guys now. Oh, as Ayres hits the wall hard. That outside line is really working for him because they carry the momentum through that dogleg section, I'd say.
Yeah, Chepelewski, that's his second bit of contact today. He slid up into the car on the outside earlier on in the race, and now he's collided with Alex Sione. Marco Barbanera didn't take the start with this one, so we might see our Apex Racing TV colleague in the second of the 4 races. Of course, we'll have a break after the opening race, so make sure you stay and keep the stream open. And of course, there'll be a reverse grid as well, which will just add an even further element into this a really exciting race meeting, our debut race meeting. Oh, smoke! Don't know whether that's come from someone in the pit lane. I think it was Alessandro Dalladoni, because he's just towed back to the pits, so problem for him. But here comes Kip Stevens. He wants that lead back. He started on the pole, and he's going to hit the front if he can just get clear of the car on the outside, George Simmons. It looks like he has. Kip Stevens returns to the front, and George Simmons behind, and Alex Sione too. They're going to be trying to take it off him as we've now completed over half the race. There's a car in the car go very slowly up the road, and that might cause problems in a moment, Chaz. As yeah, we're on lap 16 now, 8 minutes completed.
I think it might be. It's 28th place. It's the car of Nick McCarron. He's one of the other Momo cars. He's obviously gone back on track after maybe going off. He's quite a while down on the guys around him. Yeah, this is a great battle at the front at the moment between Stevens and Cherney there as well. His teammate helping him out. Simmons involved too. Simmons has been doing really strongly at the front tonight, to be fair. He's been sticking with it. He's not let anyone sort of boss him around or bully their way through.
Now you can see on the track map the cars that that's the Momo car, that's Hefford, and that's finally that's Jason Cooper as well in the Swift Cooper Esports car. Careful everybody, whoa, and he tows back to the pits just in the nick of time, Chaz.
Oh, there's another bit of contact there. I think that's Nicastro, and that's one of the Youth Energy cars. That's Adam Delmont around. He needs to get that thing out of the way. His teammate's coming up the road. Oh, really well avoided there. Really, really well avoided that was. I think that was, would have that been there, one of the other Youth Energy cars?
Oh.
That was a bit poor.
God, Adam.
That was poor. That was really poor.
I wanted to stay quiet, but I couldn't help it for that one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's understandable.
Alex Simpson, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Alex Simpson.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, really good for Steve there. You can see Steve Hefford really struggling with that car, can't you? Simmons down the inside for the lead. Really getting a good line.
Yeah, this battle group has slowly been eradicated now. We've only been left with 6 cars left now to fight it out for the win. Well, you're going to get the 5 minute to go mark in a moment. As you can see, George Simmons just washes out a little bit wide on the exit, and immediately, like a rat up a drain pipe, Kip Stevens up the inside and back into the lead if he can hold it on the outside. They're about to lap. That is Nick McCarron in the Momo car, the one that Chaz was just mentioning a moment ago. And if they're going to
it's a really slow car ahead of them, by the way. Sorry, Adam. There's a really slow car coming up. Not sure who it is. It might be Steve Hefford.
Yeah, it is Hefford.
Yeah, there he is. Oh, he's on the grass, so it's okay. I think on the track map, it looked like he was in the very middle, so I was a bit worried for him then as McCarron goes just nicely out of the way. Neatly done. You
can see on the track map as well that those cars that are faded, they're not fully opaque, it means that they are in the pits. Don't worry, they're not on the track. Helps to distinguish that.
Summers beautifully down the inside there, really smooth manoeuvre, and now he's 3 wide down the inside of Cherney and down the inside of Van Gool as well.
Yeah, Simmons is going to hit the front here. Pro-Am driver, George Simmons, and he's going to go through. He's a colleague of Apex Racing with Alex Simpson in the BSR TC. Has helped the team get a few points with the BSR TC, which is of course on a Thursday night. You've probably heard of it on the channel. Stevens straight back up the inside though. This is beginning to be quite a regular theme here. Stevens getting the lead through turn 1, but then he ends up losing it by the time we get to the line. We could have a photo finish on our hands. It is that close as the Momo car of Van Gool, car 39, tries to find a way through the middle. No way through there yet. Tyres as well as they go through turn 3 and turn 4. And now Sioni's going to get the run on the outside. It's not going to get him to the lead, but it will keep George Simmons in second place. But Sioni trying to get that move done on the inside as we haven't got too many more laps to go now.
Yeah, it's really getting to crunch time for these boys, but it's one of those sort of strategic things you have to call in NASCAR, as when you want to sort of hold back for the last few laps, and then you want to be one of the guys that gets the slipstream onto the final lap because you're automatically at an advantage. I mean, it's sort of restrictor plate tracks that you see like Talladega and so on. It might not always be the case, but these guys are really playing it tactically at the moment. But yeah, Stevens doing a great job up front, and his teammate Cherney's looking really menacing as well. There's a car right next to us here as well, with Van Gool. He's got a great run through the middle, beautiful stuff. He's now down the inside of Simmons, but he's running wide there. You've got to think he might make contact with Simmons there, but he's just about got away with it. Simmons actually sort of backed out of it, didn't he? Yeah,
I was aghast there at what Van Gool was doing, and it somehow amazingly pulled off. Jack Ashton has gained 27 places. Him and Josh Thompson have been forging away through the field. Thompson 25 places gained. He's just behind him. He's done a fantastic job. And Josh Thompson, obviously no stranger to people that have watched most of the stuff on the Apex on the iRacing Esports network, and races in the BSR TC as well. And he's doing pretty well here. So too Jack Ashton in the Youth Energy car. His teammates haven't fared too well, but for now, Jack Ashton on for a top 10 finish.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Really, really strong drive so far. But I'll tell you who is putting in a strong drive, and that's these Swift Cooper boys at the front. Stevens still leading it then from Cherney, and Summers, well, obviously Van Gool's in there as well. I just mean teammate-wise. They're really getting close together, though. There's only 2 minutes of this race left, so surely you'd be thinking that's what, another 2 laps and maybe 3.
I was just having a look there to see who was going to be ahead at the line. We had Van Gool forging his way through on the outside. We had Kip Stevens on the inside. I think it was Stevens by about 100th or so. So that's something to watch out for when we get the white flag. It's going to be 3 wide for second again. On the inside, Sioni. In the middle, it's Van Gool. On the outside, it is Simmons. Simmons gets muscled down. Summers, and Summers gets muscled down to 5th place. But it won't be a problem for him. He'll probably be back up in 3rd, maybe even 2nd by the time we get back around to the line. It is about a 32-second lap around here. So as you can see from the clock, that means that we don't have too many more laps around here. At best, maybe 2 or 3. Stevens trying to dictate which line to go to at the moment. He's in a pretty favourable position now, because if he sees a car coming on the outside, he can move up and block them. If a car's trying to go through on the inside, like Alex Sioni looks like he was trying to do there, he can move over and block him straight away.
Yeah, he really is in a favourable position, like you say. These Momo guys work really well together. We've seen them in practice and qualifying all season. Doing really, really choreographed sort of drafting and slipstreaming. And it's just all around the outside. Summers is getting really brave there. I think he's just trying to pull the attention away from Peter Van Gool there and get him to go defensive. And this might work out for them. I think these Swift Cooper cars might just about get a 1-2. But I don't know whether they'll be able to force a 1-2-3 because Van Gool's really strong here. Ayres has dropped off it a little bit. Simmons is still there or thereabouts, so if there is any sort of contact or anyone makes any mistakes now, he could jump in at this on the last moment. As Cherney running just a little bit wide there, wasn't he, from the apron? Yeah,
he clipped the apron and immediately it shot him straight up the circuit. White flag is in the air. This is the last lap. Sioni's refusing to budge in the battle for second. He fancies his chances of winning this one. He's trying to get the most speed he can through turn 1. Stevens goes very wide on the exit and straight away goes to the middle and then to the bottom to keep Van Gool at bay. Van Gool's on the outside now and Kip Stevens has committed to the inside, so this is going to be pretty interesting. On board with Van Gool through turn 3. It's going to be a run to the line, and I think Peter Van Gool's got Kip Stevens right where he wants him. It's going to be a drag race to the line. The opening race of the day is going to go to Peter Van Gool by about 100th of a second. Sioni in 3rd, Summers 4th, Jamie Ayres in 5th, chap.
Brilliant stuff, and style points for Cherney there. I think he actually saved that slide, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, Van Gool, really opportunistic stuff. He just controlled that, and well, it was just beautifully executed, wasn't it? You could just see the steering input he was putting on, kept it nice and smooth, and he just had so much momentum coming out the last corner. He only just did it though, but at the end of the day, if you're in front, aren't you? As we see the rest of them coming across the line now. Surprised that actually, we did keep most of the cars in the field. I think we actually got pretty much exactly half and half. I think 22 cars finished out of the 41, so we didn't do too badly, I'd say, for the first race of the evening.
I think that was the only lap that Peter Van Gool led the entire race. You've only got to lead one lap. Make sure you make it the final lap, and he duly did, and he picks up the win in the Momo car. Right then, we'll get the race results up on the screen, and then we'll hand over to Alex Simpson to do one of the most important jobs of the broadcast, and that is do the reverse grid wheel. Peter Van Gool then wins, Kip Cooper second, third Alex Cherney, top three separated by less than a tenth. Charlie Summers fourth, Jamie Edds fifth, Jack Ashton sixth, and Josh Thompson finishing in seventh. Simone Nicastro in eighth, Mikael Garcia ninth, and Tyler Lugo Vickery rounding out the top 10. Moving on back in 11th, Pete Newman, 12th Laura Bond, 13th is Jack McIntyre, 14th for Scott Malcolm, 15th Mick Barry. Don't know what happened to George Simmons towards the end of the race. As you noticed, he's now down in 16th. Simone Nicastro then was the highest Pro-Am car. Dan Hunt 17th, and then David Ayres finishing in 18th place. Then moving on back, Brian Holmes 19th and 20th for Max Wright. Max Wright gaining 16 places in the Automech Knock Hill car. His teammates, Rob Graham finished in 21st. Then the cars basically had issues during the race. Two Momo cars, Nick McCarron and Steve Hefford. Then it's Adam Delmont, Jason Cooper, Peter Knowles, gained 12 places, but he didn't finish the race. Stelian Chepelevsky, 27th place in the end. Luke Cooper as well. Mikey Key, Alessandro Dalladone, Joe McDonald, Anthony Mott, Jordan Giddings having issues, Adam McNally too in the Youth Energy car, Carl Hardy as well, Marco Barbanera barely got going, and then the cars that finished at the back of the field, Benjamin Mears, Carl Jacquelet and Craig Jones as well, with Eric Stanford and Craig Cameron not taking the start of the race. Alex Simpson, you had a brief cameo earlier when we had that monumental spin turn that went horribly wrong, but that was a greatly executed drive by Peter Van Gool to get the win there.
Great drive by Peter. Yeah, timed it to absolute perfection, didn't he? You know, doesn't matter what's the to quote Fast and Furious, an inch or a mile, it doesn't matter, you know, as long as you win. And that's exactly what Peter did there. Absolutely, absolute perfection. So fighting amongst all of those Cooper Racing drivers out there, and he managed to work his way through. So yeah, he'll be dead chuffed, and so am I.
Got an important job to do now. First reverse grid of the evening, first reverse grid draw, I believe, on the iRacing Esports Network. So let's see who's going to be on that poll.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I don't think they've enjoyed the delights that is our Wheel of Fortune. So cue the old 80s style Wheel of Fortune game show music. And just to give the guys a heads up. So obviously what you can see on screen right now, we've got a few sort of, well, basically the red ones that are minus something. What that means is that that's a full reverse grid minus however many places on there. So if it's -4, it's full from 4 places, minus 4 from where they finish. And of course, it's only people that are 1 lap down or less that can get reversed onto the pole position. So I'll give it a spin, and we'll see where we end up. Okay, so firmly in the 50th place. So don't have 50 cars out there, of course. So who's going to get it, guys?
Let's just have a quick look down the order then. So it's everyone that was a lap down or more, and it's very important for Nick McCarron actually that he carried on, because he's 1 lap down, so that would put him on pole position with Rob Graham, Max Wright and Brian Holmes behind him. So essentially only 22 cars actually ended up getting reversed in that one. So it could mean that the spread from the quicker guys coming through is, well, it's a bit greater really. Some of them are in the middle, and some of them obviously not finishing the race will be at the back. So this is going to be a really interesting race too.
Yeah, you can see from the results that we've got up on screen where Nick McCarron finishes in 22nd place. Out of the 41 cars that attempted to start the race, only 22 finished 1 lap down or less. They were the only classified finishers. And this is only just race 1. Usually, as far as the trending goes, it gets a bit more chaotic as the races go along. We've got 3 more races to go here. Don't go anywhere. The second of them in the BSR MX5 Autumn Cup is coming up after the break here on the iRacing Esports Network.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerrick at the line.
The following is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
We're back at Phoenix for the second race of 4 in the BSR MX5 Autumn Cup. Adam Bath here with Chaz Draker, Alex Simpson on the cameras and providing some useful analysis as well as doing the reverse grid draw. Reminder as well to drop a subscribe if you haven't already to the iRacing Esports Network. It continues to grow, and if you're in the business of doing subscribing to YouTube channels, make sure to give us a little subscribe as well. Apex Racing TV. You'll find all the coverage here, including once we finish tonight, you can watch back what's happened today here as well. Plus the VSRTC on a Thursday and many more series along the way. Plus Ritmatech Sports Car Series, we've got V8. We've got everything really. We've got the F1 car as well in the iRacing official Grand Prix series on a Sunday. Got everything covered, haven't we, Alex?
We have indeed.
Yeah, there you go. we're back and we're hopefully a few minutes away from getting the second race of the day underway. And Chaz, we've got a pretty big reverse grid. We basically could do as many as we could. It was only 22 cars in the end because there was such a high attrition rate in that opening race.
Yeah, I think the population of MX5s on iRacing just sort of eroded in that race, but luckily we've still got a lot of them here for this one. I think the only few we've lost about 4 drivers from the first one, but to be fair, we've got a really strong field no matter what with these guys. There's a lot of talent out there, isn't there? And there's going to be a lot more sort of fierce battling like we saw in that one. Oh, that's Simmons there, getting it all sorts of wrong. Hopefully he doesn't come back on track and take someone out like we saw in race 1. But we won't go back to that for too long, as they have just advanced the session then. So we should have a grid in just a moment's time.
Yeah, they set a 20-minute session just so that everybody can get in. And once they know that everyone's in there, they then advance. The grid is up on screen then, or it's about to come up on screen. And we will run you through what the starting lineup is for the second race of the day. There it is. And it's almost perfect symmetry in terms of pros on the right and AMs on the left. Nick McCarron starts on the pole, then Rob Graham second, Max Wright third, David Ayres fourth, Dan Hunt fifth, George Simmons starting in sixth for this one, He was up at the front for the majority of race 1, but something happened late on to hold him back. Mick Barry 7th, Scott Malcolm 8th, Jack McIntyre 9th, and Laura Bond 10th. Pete Newman 11th, Tyler Lugo Vickery in 12th. Then moving on back, it's 13th, Mikael Garcia. Simone Nicastro in 14th, Josh Thompson 15th. Gained 25 plus positions in race 1, starting in 15th place. You wouldn't rule him out of getting to the front. Neither would you rule out Jack Ashton, both of them working their way through the field together nicely. Then Jamie Ayres, Charlie Summers, then Alex Journey, then Kip Stevens. And then in 21st place, Peter Van Gool, our race 1 winner. 22nd, Steve Hefford, Adam Delmont 23rd, then Jason Cooper, Peter Knowles, Stelian Chepelewski, Luke Cooper, Mikey Key. And then towards the back of the field, 29th place, Alessandro Dalladoni and Anthony Mott, Jordan Giddings, Anna McNally, Carl Hardy, Marco Barbanera starting in 34th, Benjamin Mears 35th, Carl Jacquelet in 36th, and the last car to register for the session is Craig Jones starting in 37th place, Chad.
Yeah, it's a nice spread of talent all the way through. Like I said before, it's sort of split up the fast guys a bit. Obviously, the attrition rate in the first one has taken a few people out earlier on than others, and because of the reverse grid, obviously chucking some of them into the middle, it's just sort of going to spice up a bit more. It always does with these second, third, and even fourth races. We see it in the Pro Series as well, but in these MX-5s, it seems to be a bit more sort of amplified, doesn't it, when we see the mix-ups?
Forward to this one, you will notice that there is no Dan Hunt there. That is because he is starting from the pit lane. David Ayres, I don't think is there at all. So they're going to be in a bit of spot of bother as we get set for the second race of the day to get underway. Let's hope this goes well then. Green flag in the air. And race 2 of the day here at Phoenix. Great jump by Nick McCarron is underway. Slightly longer race. It is, it's 28 laps or 25 minutes. Whatever comes first, we should get through the 28 laps, I should say. And Mick McCarron under pressure from Rob Graham, and straight away George Simmons, who was quite good on that outside in race 1. Chaz is already forging a way through and up into second.
Yeah, he's made a great start. I'm not quite sure actually what happened to him at the end of the last one. As far as I know, he was 6th most of the way through. He might have even run out of fuel.
Yeah, it was fuel. We're hearing the fuel.
I don't know, it's a bit strange how we said that exactly the same moment, then that might sound a bit weird. As 3 wide there, you've got Jack McIntyre then. He is going between. That's, I believe, Max Wright on the inside, then one of the Automet Not Kill cars around the outside. Max, though, preferred line down the inside, and McIntyre's got to get out of it not to hit Scott Malcolm, and he's going to overtake his teammate Rob Graham. But look at Simmons right after Nick McCarron. There's a really good battle behind them as well. Josh Thompson on the inside as well.
Good start by Thompson. Already gained 6 positions. 7 for Charlie Summers. Man on a mission there.
That's as well, sorry.
Oh yeah.
They're making contact.
One of the great things about this race is that the drivers at the front may not be the quickest in terms of lap times, but because it's an oval and because of the way the slipstream works around here, Chaz, it's a great equaliser for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to see because there is a bit of a spread in this field, and a lot of the time you do see some of the quicker guys sort of dominate it. I mean, I've seen in previous seasons when they do. Oh, that was how they didn't turn each other around there. I do not know. As Jamie Ayres gets all sorts of sideways into the last corner. Oh, there's a car on its roof. Is that De Castro?
Yeah, it is.
It is De Castro.
Yeah, Simone Nicastro is up and over. Car's managed to land on all 4 wheels, but that is surely him done for the day. He's still in the middle of the track, so hopefully he can get going again, because the rest of the field, as we can see, is coming towards him at quite a rate of knots. I think he's just about going to make it into the pit lane by the time these lots come about.
Hopefully so, and otherwise it'll be adding a chicane to an oval, which might not go down too well. But there's great fun battle here from McCarron and Simmons, but McIntyre's been quick all season, through every other season. They do sort of 4 mini championships over the course of the year to these BSR MX5s. There is of course an overall championship for the whole year, but most of the time they split it into a spring, summer, autumn and winter series. Just coming towards the end, I believe, of the autumn series at the moment. And then the winter series will of course begin as McIntyre goes to the front then. McCarron down to 4th behind Pete Newman in the 91 car. Oh, one of the Auto Met Hill cars. That's Rob Graham around. Josh Thompson's gone around as well. He's
to Max Wright as well, yeah, Chaz. So what a disaster there. Josh Thompson, one of the men to watch. We mentioned it at the beginning of the show, and that's not gone at all well. I think Thompson has picked up not too much damage, so he can get going again. But the big loser there and all that, definitely Max Wright, and Rob Graham as well. Drama then at the front.
Yeah, real shame for those guys. They're all sort of making all different kinds of progress. Not sure exactly how it happened, but it is so easy on these ovals, no matter what car you're in as well, to make a bit of contact, and it just goes so wrong. I think probably the only car on the surface that you can make pretty substantial contact in and save is actually the Kia, to be honest, because you just plant it and brings itself around most times, as we see Summers now down the inside of Ashton. I can hear tyre screaming behind me. I don't know whether that's someone. Oh, there is smoke. Oh, it's Van Gool in the wall, I think.
Oh,
is it Van Gool?
It is.
It is.
Car's wrecked as well. That's our race 1 winner, done for the day. Unless he can get going again, and if he can, then the car is surely going to be severely damaged. If not, in terms of aerodynamically, they'll surely be handling pretty poorly. But we're hoping that he can get some points on the board, because, as we were saying earlier, if you finish more than 1 lap down, you don't get any points. So I have to watch out for that. And oh, big one! That is a big one. That is Anthony Mott. The car that was also flying across the straight is Adam McNally in the Youth Energy car. The pink 222 is Rob Graham. And this is turning into a bit of a wreck fest so far. McNally can definitely not get that car going. That is written off. Mick Barry just about can escape from the incident.
It was Peter Knowles, sorry, the 222.
Right.
Graham, number 22.
22.
On our timing screen, we only get 2 of the digits, so I can understand the mix-up there. I'm not quite sure how it all happened, but unfortunately it's not gone too well for him there. We've got the 37 car in there. I've not seen that livery before. That's Laura Bond who's up there. Laura, veteran of the BSR TC, of course. Lots of races under her belt in that one, and I believe a couple of race wins as well, actually. There's 2 of the Swift Cooper cars really close together there. I think that's Luke and Jason Cooper. The nice sort of differentiating roll bars and wheels in that team as well, which makes them nice and easily identifiable.
Yeah, I'd say that's been a real help. I think it was a few seasons before Laura Bond got a win. We started covering the BSR TC in 2014. I think it took until 2017 for her to get her first win. It was in the showdown last year, I believe. What a result that was. Laura Bond then sat in 16th. Here's the battle for the lead again. Jack McIntyre leads, 8 positions gained, as you can see. Then George Simmons in 2nd, then Pete Newman in 3rd, Scott Malcolm 4th, Nick McCarron 5th, Charlie Summers in 6th, Jack Ashton 7th, 8th Mikael Garcia, 9th Alex Sherney, and 10th Jamie Ayres. As we go on board from the roll bar with Pete Newman, you can see he is on the left, and you can see the overlay on the right telling you just what speed he's getting and what gear he's in. Ignore 6, 7 and 8. These drivers are all in top gear, I believe, Chaz. I don't think the MX5 has a 6th gear, so we are going full chat.
I think it does, but it's not the fastest thing in the straight line, so I don't think you can always get there. What they've probably done is tune it so it's at a point where they're just going to stay in 5th and keep it comfortable, because a lot of Indy cars tend to do that as well, don't they, where there's not really much difference between 5th and 6th, so a lot of them prefer to just keep it in 5th and maybe just go in 6th when you're in the slipstream, so you can run it at slightly lower revs. But I think these guys will just be in 5th all the way around and not having to worry about taking their hands off the wheel.
Yeah, the gear ratios are going to be key for this one. I remember that being really key in the BSR Rallycross Championship, which happened last year. Having to get the car set up for that. Me and Jake Sperry actually were in the same race. That was it's an interesting fact today. Here comes Pete Newman, trying to get that 2nd place away. You can see he gets a decent run on the outside. Nobody, because it's all single file, nobody's venturing too far away from their lines. Pete Newman's aiming to change that, and he's trying to get the position up the inside here as Simmons going into turn 3. It's a slightly elongated 4-car scrap for the lead after what's happened in this race so far. But for now, it's McIntyre, Simmons, Newman and Malcolm that make up the front 4 as they start to negotiate some of the back markers.
Yeah, doing a really fine job at the moment, these guys. Scott Malcolm doing a great job as well to stay with them. He's putting in a really strong drive. He's just one for really bad luck, is Scott Malcolm. He didn't have the greatest time at Bathurst either. But he's doing a really good job here this time. I mean, sticking with the likes of Pete Newman and Simmons, he'll be happy with that. He's always working on his pace, and he's a driver that's always improved, really, from the sort of first days I used to race with him when he was in the likes of the BSR TC Pro Series, and obviously sticking around. He does a lot of BSR Series, and he's just getting quicker and quicker. But Jack McIntyre, we've seen him at the front a lot in this car as well, and that sort of recognisable red and purple Momo scheme isn't too... well, it's just familiar for him to be at the front, isn't it, for these guys? They're used to watching him just drive away.
See how the gaps varied as well from our graphic on the right hand side. It's very rarely differed from between 1 or 3 tenths. And that is something that we like to see. 16 laps completed so far. Amazing how that time's gone. We have only just got over 10 laps to go in this second race of the day. Cars that are out of the race, we've only lost 2, Peter Knowles and Pete Van Gool. It's not a good day if your name's Pete, and not a good race too if your name's Pete anyway. I feel sorry for Pete Newman because the writing could be on the wall for him here. He's the last Pete standing in 3rd place, and he'll be hoping that his fate isn't the same as what happened to Van Gool and Knowles earlier in the race. He currently sits in 3rd, and the front 4 are starting to get quite close to each other now. Here's the battle for the best of the rest pretty much in the midfield. Here's Stelian Chepelevsky, 9 positions gained. The Momo car sat in 17th place. He's got Alessandro Dalladoni sat in front of him, and behind him he has got in the Momo car Jamie Ayres. So that is the state of play in the midfield. And as things stand, Chaz, if we get a very small reverse grid, this could potentially be one of the scraps for a first position near the front of the grid.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a risk, really, because you never know what you're going to get from a reverse grid. These championships have such a massive variation, and it's not like the British Touring Car Championship where I think it's between like 6 and 12, so it's only a number of places. You could literally be anywhere in the field and end up on pole here once you're sort of outside the top 15, I'd say. These guys will be thinking about that and maybe not making the move to go forward as much, but you can't risk sort of banking on that in this championship. There's so many points available and such close racing with everybody, and I mean, in terms of the championship itself, it's always so tight. There's literally, these guys end up with thousands of points towards the end of the year, and there's only ever like single digits even involved in the differences. We see Thompson there making a really good move down the inside of Ayres, side by side on the straight, but look, you can just see how that outside line works momentum wise. Down the straight you're so much quicker, because you have to obviously be more careful on the inside line and slightly sort of get out of it. That's well, it's Dalladoni, isn't it, going wide there. Chepelevsky trying to get ahead and make it stick, but once again, you see the momentum just working for Dalladoni. He keeps around the outside.
Jamie Ayres was all sorts of out of control through turn 1 as well. He was really fighting with the wheel of that car. Chepelevsky using a bit of the the apron on the inside. It might have a yellow line on it, but you are allowed to go beneath it. It's only the double yellow lines on the super speedways like Daytona and Talladega where that is a rule. Felt sorry for Regan Smith in 2008 as that cost him a victory, as Jamie Ayres very nearly went into the wall there when he got a little bit of a nudge up the inside by car 23, Jordan Giddings. That was pretty close, Chaz.
Yeah, that was a scary one then. I didn't know whether that car was going to end up turning around or not. We've seen a bit of netcode over the series so far, but nothing too major in these MX-5s. It's usually in the bigger cars that we tend to see it, but look at this train here at the front. Well, I was going to say at the front. It's not quite the front, is it? Same sort of mix of cars and teams. We've got Cherney, Hefford, Delmont, and we've got the 2 Coopers. Well, one of which is Kip Stevens, and then just off the back of that, we've got Laura Bond as well. So these Swift Cooper boys are sort of flying in formation. It's almost akin to Dave Baker and Christian Rose that we see in the World GT Championship. Those guys are inseparable on track, and it seems like these guys are following in their footsteps.
A reminder, if you're new to the BSRTC, the pro drivers are all in blue, the drivers are all in green, and you can also see the lap times that they're doing there. Not too much difference between the pro and the AMs, and the iRating as well, 1.6k. That makes me feel a bit better. My iRating's 1.8k, so what you going to do? Lap 22 of 28 then, and this is the battle for what was in race 1, the battle for the lead. Here in race 2, it's the battle for 8th and 9th. These lot all started right in the midfield after the reverse grid, but now they are fighting for a spot inside the top 10. They've all had pretty good races. 11 gains for Cioni, 13 for Hefford, and a bit further up the field, Chaz, we've got a free car scrap here. This is between Jack Ashton, Scott Malcolm, and Summers as well. Charlie Summers in 4th place. He's leading these guys around, and we'll be hoping that they could somehow get on the podium with the front 4 in front, end up having a wreck inside the final 5 laps.
Yeah, they've just got to sort of stick together, try and work together maybe to just get that slipstream and just catch up with them. If they just let Summers lead this and sort of pull them towards the others if he's got the pace, then he should be right, although that wide line through there is not really going to help him that much. A couple of lap cars in front there. I think that's Craig Jones and Mikey Key, is it, or is it Carl Hardy? Not quite sure, because it's a Result clothing car and it's got green roll bars, and I think it's Ayres and Hardy actually, those two. Craig Jones and Mikey Key just happen to be their teammates. Oh, Summers is out of it. That's really ruined the front end of that. I was just going to say the other two result clothing cars are also together on track as well, so that might be where I've got slightly confused. As we look at Pete Newman now, then the curse of Pete hasn't hit him yet, but I'm sure he'll be hoping that him and Simmons don't trade the black and yellow paint round on those two cars before the race is done. As he's down the inside of McIntyre, really commanding move, sticks it to that yellow line, probably using a bit of yellow paint off them wheels to make it even more vivid. But you can just see, I mean, once again, that outside line is it's the pinnacle of, there's a Northern Lights car, and yeah, that's one of the 1050 Barbanera racing cars off there, I believe.
Probably was Marco Barban, I think.
I think it may have been actually, yeah, he's come back on track. He's in the pits again, so yeah, it must have been him. He's just popped into the pits now.
Yeah.
You can see on board from Simmons just how close these guys are, though. You've got to be very patient all the way around this, because you want to get on the throttle and turn it in as hard as you want, but you've just got to think about the tyres in the long run in this race and be careful on the throttle, haven't you?
We'll see how careful these guys are then. 2 laps to go. It's quickly becoming crunch time here in race 2 of the day. A reminder that we've got 2 more to come after this. We're barely even halfway through the evening. Problem for Tyler Lugo Vickery. He's dropped down to 14th place, but this is what we're focusing on now. It's George Simmons going for 2nd place, maybe even going for the lead. No way through just yet, but when we get to the line, we're going to be starting the final lap of the race, and we will find out who's going to win the 2nd race of the day. In race 1, it was Peter Van Gool. He's out. Is it going to be McIntyre, Simmons, or is it going to be Newman, Chaz? White flag in the air.
I'm going to say McIntyre. Newman and Simmons are battling too much now. They're just not helping each other. Simmons got a beautiful sort of cutback out of that first corner on the last lap. Newman just a bit slow through there, but I think McIntyre's got this in the bag now, unless he makes a mistake into the final corner. Simmons may have the run on him, but he's just not going to be able to utilise the line that well. He's not for lack of trying though, is it? Newman just hugging the inside line, but it's going to be Jack McIntyre then, takes his 2nd win in the evening. Great drive by Jack there. Simmons 2nd and Newman 3rd. Really, really well-deserved podium for all 3. They just kept it nice and clean. As we look at the back of this battle then, Hefford's going to beat Cherney to the line. Then it's going to be Cooper over Bond, and then it's Stevens, then Delmont, then Luke Cooper, as well as these guys coming across this line now as well. That's Ayres, Chepelevsky, Thompson, Dalladone. Just confirming there that it was Marco Barbanera with the incident. Side by side across the line, that's going to be Mears and Jones, rounding out your top 20. Another couple of cars coming across the line, that's Wright and Dan Hunt there in 21st and 22nd place, with Mikey Key not far behind there in the number 69 result clothing car.
And that is it.
Yeah, that is it, yeah.
We didn't do much better here. 23 cars were the classified finishers in the end. We'll wait and see in terms of how many were classified finishers, in terms of cars that finished 1 lap down or not. But yeah, you can see all the cars returning back to the pit lane as well. 2 races still to come. Of course, we've got the reverse grid coming up in just a moment for the 3rd race of the day. Let's get the results up on screen then. Jack McIntyre wins for Momo. I think that's 2 wins in a row for Momo as well, with Peter Van Gool winning race 1, McIntyre winning race 2. Good day all round so far for that team. George Simmons, the highest AM this time. He was very nearly it in race 1, but ran out of fuel. He does have it this time. Pete Newman finishing just behind him in 3rd. Jack Ashton, 4th, leading the rest of the field home. Then the Scotsman, Scott Malcolm, finishing in 5th. Nick McCarron in 6th. Then his teammate, Steve Hefford, in 7th. Then 8th, Alex Journey. 9th, Jason Cooper, and 10th, Laura Bond. You can see just how close this second group was, just in terms of hundredths of a second. In fact, if you look at the gap between Cooper and Bond, they were separated by just 6 thousandths. Kip Stevens finishing in 11th, 12th, Adam Cooper, 13th for Adam Delmont, then Luke Cooper in 13th place. Then Tyler Lugo Vickery, 14th, the American, 15th for Jamie Ayres, the Welshman, 16th, Stelling Chepelevsky, 17th, Josh Thompson, 8th, Alessandro Dalladoni, and then moving on further back, Ben Mears, 19th, 20th, Craig Jones, Max Wright, 21st, then Dan Hunt, Mikey Key, the last car on the lead lap, in 23rd. He leads home a trio of result clothing cars. Got David Ayres, then Carl Hardy in 25th, and then the final 2 classified finishers, Anthony Mott and Rob Graham. If we do get a full -1, it will be Mott on the pole. Then Jordan Giddings, Marco Barbanera, not classified. Neither was Charlie Summers. We saw what happened to those 2. They were both off on the exit of turn 4. Carl Jacquelet, Mikael Garcia, Mick Barry, Peter Knowles out. Adam McNally didn't last too long either. Neither did Peter Van Gool, our race 1 winner, finishing in 36th place. And then at the back of the field, in 37th, was Simone Nicastro. Up and over and out on the very first lap of the race in turn 3. Alex, the second race of the day, it was pretty spread out by the end of it. But once again, a lot of crashes and a lot of cars involved, meaning that we'll probably get another very small reverse grid in terms of numbers.
Yeah, I think so. No matter what we get on the wheel, it's going to be a fairly small one. Just to recap again for anyone tuning in, this is the reverse grid wheel element of the night. We have 3 of these through the night, and yeah, I'll give it a spin. Cue the 80s style theme tune music from some game show, and yeah, we see who's going to get that reverse grid. So we've got all the different segments there, and usually we'll be looking at anyone 1 lap or less down can get themselves reversed onto a race. So we have a lot of retirees here. I think we really are looking like slower. I don't know, down to 27. So any number under 27, and then we could mix it up. So, but yeah, definitely. Who is that? Rob Graham is looking quite favourable. A lot of segments will pull his name basically. So let's give it a spin and see what we get. Well, I think it's going to fall to Rob, no question. We're either full -1 or 40th, and it stays on full -1.
So, Chaz, who's going to be on the pole then for race 3?
We're actually looking at Anthony Mott. We've got Rob Graham in the sim as the last driver on the lead lap then, so that'll be Anthony Mott, Carl Hardy, David Ayres and Mikey Key. So as far as I know, that's 3 of the team result clothing cars that we saw earlier that are going to be near the front of the grid.
I'm sure they'll be hoping that it's going to be a great third race. Well, we're just halfway through. We've still got 2 races to go. And a whole lot more excitement lays ahead. Plus, we've got 1 more reverse grid wheel spin to do as we set the grid for race 4. But race 3 coming up after the break here on the iRacing Esports Network in the BSR MX5 Autumn Cup.
is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network. We're getting set for the third race of the day here in the BSR MX5 Autumn Cup from sunny Phoenix International Raceway. Hosted many series in the past. This is the pre-2008 layout. In about 2010 or 2011, they completely resurfaced the circuit, added in a dogleg as well. And I think, Chaz, since then, I think they've even gone and reprofiled it some more. So this track is quite old now. It's amazing to think that 2008 was 10 years ago as well.
Yeah, it's quite scary how time flies when you look at it that way. I mean, even the Daytona that we've got, there's a Daytona 2007, I think it is as well, so just outdates this. But it's good that there is obviously the evolution that you do get with these oval tracks, and it's good that they still got it around though. I mean, the older versions, sometimes people just prefer if the road sort of surface feels different. It's just nice to have, isn't it? It's the novelty of being able to sort of go back in time as you would. I mean, real drivers can't obviously do that on the real circuits, but it's great that we can do that here in sim racing.
Championship standings up on the screen. To give you some context, 2008, I was just finishing primary school, which in America is elementary school, I think. And 10 years down the line, I finished university. Scott Malcolm leads the AM category. I'm sure Alex Simpson is just like absolutely seething on the other end of the commentary box. But we'll move on.
10 years ago, I wasn't grey.
Oh.
That's about where it goes with me.
Oh, what
It's
a
right,
shame.
don't worry,
Yeah.
you can rub it in. It's fine. Okay, I'll get you later.
Yeah, Nürburgring next year. I think someone's passport's going missing at the airport. Right, let's run you through the grid. Anthony Mott has got the passport to pole position. He got that through the reverse screw wheel. He's on the pole. Then it's Carl Hardy second, David Ayres third. Fourth is Dan Hunt, then Max Wright fifth, Craig Jones sixth, Ben Mearson seventh. Then it's Alessandro Dalladoni in eighth, Josh Thompson ninth from the Isle of Man. I didn't realise that we had the Manx flag for him. I think that might be a new addition there. Stalin Chepelewski in 10th. Then quickly, you're running through the rest. It is Stalin Chepelewski, then Jamie Ayres, Tyler Lugo Vickery, then Luke Cooper, Adam Delmont, Kip Stevens, Laura Bond, Jason Cooper, Alex Journey, Steve Hefford and Nick McCarron rounding out the top 20, and another unpredictable race lying ahead. What an opportunity this is, Chaz, for result clothing.
Yeah, they're hoping to turn it into a result, I imagine. I'm still sort of laughing at that passport to pole position comment, if I'm honest with you. Mott is away with it. He's then got Hardy and Ayres in nice flying formation down the straight then, ahead of Hunt and Wright. They're both going to be in the hunt to get into the right position, I imagine, as there's a bit of Dyson going in them just behind them there, actually. Two cars, can't quite see who that was. I think it was Mears and might have been Jones and Thompson. There was someone going really out wide and then cutting back down. It was Thompson, actually. He's on the back of Mears there on the inside of the red and black and white Matt Radical's car. You can see goes down the inside, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get that move done. Josh has been making up a lot of places tonight, but obviously in that second race he was involved in quite a large incident, so that curtailed his progress.
I would like to complete the opening lap. It's all kicking off here just behind Thompson. You can see Stalin Chepelewski's making some pretty interesting lines down the front straight there. Good opportunity for Thompson this, as long as he can avoid any of the crashes, because in race 2, despite his getting caught up in one of the wrecks, he was still able to finish inside the top 15 places. Here he is, and here's a battle for second. It's Carl Hardy, Dan Hunt, Max Wright, Jamie Ayres, Ben Mears and Josh Thompson all involved. And Anthony Mott away with this one. He's got a 3 tenths of a second advantage as things stand. But it's anyone's game for this second position, and Max Wright putting in the purple. Fastest lap of the race so far after the second lap game completed, and a good opportunity for a Pro-Am driver to get a win here. You can see from the green stripes down the timing tower, 1st, 2nd, 4th, 6th and 11th and 12th, all AM drivers. So good spread, good even spread between the top 12 drivers, Jack.
Yeah, it's good that that we do have them sort of mixed up a nice little bit there, as there is a bit of smoke on the straight. So someone's obviously, Jordan Giddings is the only car not to be running at the moment. So unfortunately, he's had, let's just call it an issue at that point. Mia's there now with Daladoni and Chepelevsky on the inside of him. He's going to be wanting to make the most of that outside line. You can see the momentum once again. It's really working for people tonight, though. I think if you're going to go for this inside line, you need to really have the confidence to carry the speed in, because some people are obviously wanting to be careful not to wash out to the car on the outside, as this is starting to become a little bit of a traffic jam now between, just behind Hardy and Ayres.
Yeah, these cars are relying on so much momentum. You could almost say that this is the BSR Momentum MX5 series, and this is free wide. Josh Thompson, he's got that momentum, and he's going to be up into 4th place. He is. He's leaving David Ayres, Stelian Chepelevsky and everybody else to fight behind him, and that was very nearly a disaster between Max Wright and Jamie Ayres getting on the brakes going into turn 3.
Just noticed as well that onto the into turn 1 last time round, Mott actually hit the wall just as he turned in. He just clipped it as he let the car run out wide. You can see the damage just to the front right of the car when it goes around the other side of the shot. Typically the next camera's on the left hand side of the car, but oh well. Thompson though up to 3rd place, really good progress so far, and Chepelevsky going with him, that's no surprise. If you've ever seen Stelian Chepelevsky's setup, you'll see that it's quite an amazing bit of kit, and he likes green a lot. He likes green LEDs and green things, to be fair, but it's amazing, isn't it?
His JCL rig's quite good. I saw him, I was with him when he hinted that he'd be buying it at the Sim Racing Expo last year, and it's just gone on from there. He's great in the rallycross car, and that is very nearly disaster for Thompson. It's going to be disaster for him. It's going to be for Moss anyway, the leader who was leading a few laps ago. Wow. Well, it's very nearly goodbye to, I think it was Alex Cioni, but everybody else going to find their own bit of track. And very nearly takes out the Momo car as well, and Nick McKerran. He had to get on the brakes to avoid all that.
I don't know about you, Alex, but I'm going more grey at watching this. I tell you what, that was a bit of a hairy moment there, but Thompson now in the lead. You've got to think that he's going to try and get away with it, but Dan Hunt is going to definitely put up a fight. Really strong racer is Dan. He's been in the BSR for a long time, and he's been showing his worth in the BSR TC since day one. I'm sure he's going to try and go with Thompson. Daladone is doing a great job at the moment, putting Chepelevsky under pressure. There's quite a lot of bright green cars in this series, isn't there? There's a lot of roll cages as well that are painted in nice green colours. You've got Carl Hardy back there with bright green wheels, and you've got some Youth Energy cars with bright green roll cages, so definitely the colour of choice for a lot of people. As Dan Hunt now on the outside of Thompson. They were the other way around last time round, and Chepelevsky just getting away from Daladone a little bit, but you can just see, it's amazing to see all the different lines working there. Hunt now come down to the inside, great move on Thompson, and now he's got that inside line back, and Chepelevsky's going to try and go around the outside. What's Daladone going to do? Is he going to get him on this as well? Oh, they just washed wide a little bit. That was just a bit cheeky from Hunt there. Came up a little bit just to sort of assert his dominance as you would. Side by side, Daladone and Thompson, they're going to be swapping wheel bolts at this point. Really close though.
Yeah, Thompson did the NASCAR style slide job on Dan Hunt at the start of the previous lap, and now Hunt is leading the way. Daladone trying to find some sort of speed on the inside, but it's just not happening there, especially if you're that far down. He's now going to be caught and potentially passed by Stelian Chepelevsky. Thompson's now trying to do the outside job on Dan Hunt. Here he goes. The Josh Thompson from the Isle of Man. Basically, if you've never heard of it, it's a bit of land. Oh, that was very nearly disaster for that was McIntyre, wasn't it?
Yeah, just about saved it somehow, but a very skillful driver is Jack McIntyre. So obviously that was a test of it, and he's done really well. Oh, there's a car on the wall. That's one of the Ultimate Knock Hill cars, and going down the order. Yeah. Actually, no, Scott Malcolm's going down the order as well. Scott Malcolm's flying down.
Oh, well, this is why. Dear me, this is a this is a huge incident. That's
Nicastro.
Nicastro. That's Scott Malcolm as well in car 74 and the Automech Not Killed car as well. So 2 Automech Not Killed cars eliminated within the space of a lap.
A real shame for him there. I'm not sure whether they collided with one another, but it's definitely Mears that went earlier on, and then Scott obviously getting involved in it somehow. As these 4 are still battling for the lead, they've got Ayres and McIntyre getting involved in this as well now. Sorry, and then they've got the result clothing car of David Ayres. He's putting in a fine effort so far. So is his teammate Carl Hardy. They're still together. They're on board with Alessandro Daldadone now. You see he's got the Apex Racing TV sticker on the inside of it, and he's got the bright pink roll cage, and as always you see on a couple of cars on the service, you've got an anime character involved as well. And I'm really sorry that I don't know who that is as well. I will apologise to anyone that does. They're probably screaming at me through the screens at the moment.
Well, if you want to have a go at Chaz Draycott, you can use the YouTube chat to get involved. Well, it doesn't have to be about that. You can let us know how you're watching. The evening's pretty exciting here. Thompson had to get out of that there. You could see the Momo car just up the road, getting up the inside, and Thompson had to get out of it as a result. That was Dan Hunt trying to find a way back through. It's Chepelevsky that's going to lead this lap as we come round to start lap 14. 3 wide just in front of us. Baladoni going to dive to the bottom. Just about. Had to put a bit of opposite lock in there to get the car to turn. Thompson now hits the front in a space of 2 corners. Chepelevsky's gone from first down to second, but now he's trying to get the lead back again. And this, we've got about, I'd say about 11 cars within the space of a second. There they all are on the map. Try and pick somebody out of that. Try and pick a winner out of all of that, Chaz, because we've still got over 10 laps to go to decide it.
I'm going to say Jack McIntyre. I'm just going to say it, but we'll have to see what he can do, because he's still in 5th at the moment. He's got his teammate Ayres ahead of him, and he's got Daldadone coming up and putting pressure as well. But Thompson and Chepelevsky putting on a right show at the front. We really have got a fantastic field of cars, and nearly 3 wide in the middle. There's some Swift Cooper cars. Laura Bond is involved in there as well. She's inherited the number 4 car for this race somehow. Don't think the number might have been set. You've also got Adam Delmont in there, the Youth Energy cars as well. Tyler Lugo Vickery's up to 7th place. He's put in a great drive so far. It's just a brilliant mix, and obviously having these oval races, the positions swap around so much that you can go from one lap to the next, and it's just a completely different order. You may as well just throw them all up in the air in just a random order and then just see how they come back down.
Thompson diving for the inside going through there. He entered that corner with so much speed. He's going to pay for it as a result on the exit, because here come the trio of what looks like, from what I can see, the 3 Momo cars. Up the inside goes Thompson. He's trying to hold on to it. Adam Delmont's dropping down the order like a stone. My inkling is that he might have had a crash. He has towed back to the pits, but oh, it's checking up. Bang, bang, bang into the back of each other. They all go, and Thompson's the one that's lost out of all of that, Chaz, because now up the inside of him goes the big one.
Oh,
it is a big one. A NASCAR style big one here at Phoenix International Raceway. A few Automech Not Killed cars involved. Laura Bond 2. George Simmons involved as well. He finished in 2nd place in race 2. He's not going to finish there this time. And Alex Tierney, I think, may have been involved as well. Anthony Mott, the pole sitter as well. So big wreck there on the exit turn 2.
Yeah, real shame they lost quite a lot of drivers in that one. I think Max Wright and Charlie Summers, yeah, like you say, they're out of that one. Can't really see any other names that you haven't mentioned that have gone down the order, but yeah, real shame for it to happen. As we look back then, oh, there's a really big mess in the middle here. Is it Bond? And Luke just gets up into Charlie Summers, then into Bond, and they bounce back down off the wall. Cherney and Max Wright as well. Real shame. It's one of the Momo cars. That's Steve Hefford just avoiding the aftermath of that, but yeah, it just looked like is that
there's a big one.
That was
a big one.
That was race leader, wasn't it? Was it Mott? Was it Anthony Mott that was off then?
There's also Jamie Ayres is gone, I think. He was fighting for the lead. You saw him on the map. He was stationary. The car is absolutely destroyed, and one of our contenders is gone from this one. It's now a battle for the lead between Jan McIntyre and Stelin Chepelevsky.
McIntyre to the front. So
Well
far, my prediction's coming true. But I know that even though they are teammates, Chepelevsky's not going to have that line down. He's going to do everything he can to get back ahead. 8 laps to go. And you've got to think that in that time as well, Josh Thompson could catch up to them, and also Tyler Lugo Vickery's up there as well. But Jack McIntyre, just to make the point here, he's gained 23 places to lead this race. Absolutely amazing.
Quite remarkable. Nobody else has come close to that. The next person, well, I should say, Mikel Garcia. Well done to him. He's gained 21. He sat in 9th. Carl Jacquelette's gained 19. So quite a few drivers have had an eventful evening in getting their way through the field. Those Pro-Am drivers that we had near the front at the start of the evening in race 3, there's not too many of them left. Lugo Vickery is the highest AM driver with a few laps to go, and he's trying to hold back Alessandro Dalladone. Josh Thompson's doing everything he can to try and get back up to Chepelevsky and McIntyre. Last time around it was 32.7 for Thompson. That was the slowest out of the front 3 cars. But if they start to battle each other, Chepelevsky and McIntyre, then Thompson will more than crash in front of them. Everybody's got to scatter.
What's on its roof? I think that was Knowles, the number 222 car there, just skating along. Oh no, someone's hit him. Yeah. That's Dalladone. Oh, Luke
and a
Cooper's
Momo
in
car too. Sorry, Swift Cooper. It's Luke Cooper, I should say, involved. Oh,
that was
another one.
Rob Graham. Oh, that's a real shame that. He just couldn't get it out of the way in time, I don't think, could Knowles. Once it was in, and you have to obviously get the car stopped to get it off the track, and I just don't think that worked out for him, unfortunately. But hopefully it's all gone by the time they come back around then, as we see McIntyre leading Chepelevsky over the line. It's all cleared up, thankfully. It's just a real shame, isn't it, to lose all that amount of cars in one go there.
Yeah, we're down to 19, I think, now, out of the 35 that started. It's not gone at all well here. There's cars literally everywhere just as back markers and trying to scramble their way to some points finishes. There is Alex Cioni that we just lapped. Here is Kip Stevens, the race 1 runner-up, getting lapped. He's in 18th place, so we're down to 17 cars on the lead lap, and it could get smaller than that by the time we get to the end of the race. Lap 24 of 28 then. It's McIntyre, Chepelevsky, Thompson. Then it's Lugo Vickery, then Garcia. Then Hefford, Jacquelet, McCarron, Carl Hardy rounding out the top 10, and then not too many cars left after that. Another car getting lapped there. That's a car that's already been lapped. But McIntyre and Chepelevsky, Thompson can't seem to do much about them right now. Chaz, he's consistently a tenth of a second or so slower than them. If it's going to be anybody that's winning this race as they get past Dalladone, the struggling Dalladone, it's going to be one of these two, I think, McIntyre or Chepelevsky.
Yeah, definitely. I think Josh and Lugo Vickery have just about dropped out of the slipstream now, unfortunately for them. Just going to be a really good battle now as Chepelevsky's starting to get closer and closer to McIntyre. But to be fair, it may help out Thompson and Lugo Vickery if they start battling a little bit and having to go defensive and switching lines and so on. Then it can quite easily just back them up, I suppose. Going across the line then. We're on lap 25 out of 28 then. As they go around turn 1 then, McIntyre just really got to try and use all the road through here and just get it up towards the wall. And, just let it wash out wide as far as you can. Because it's so easy to just turn it in and, you can sort of wash off all your momentum, can't you, by turning in too harshly through these corners.
Don't know what's going on with the lap counter. It says undefined on mine, but this is definitely the definition of close racing here, with a few laps to go. Swinging their way through the first corner, they throw the car at the inside because these two are on their own, and because they're not side by side, they can try and do that, and it's working out quite well. We are on lap 27. When we get to the line, we're going to be starting the final lap of the race here in race 3. One more race to go after this, and Sergei Chepelevsky had a little bit of an opening there on the inside and hits the wall on the exit. That is going to surely hamper his chances of winning this race, Chaz, as we've got the 1 lap to go. White flag in the air.
I should have put money on this, shouldn't I? Jack McIntyre then leading around turns 1 and 2. He's going to be really happy with this. I mean, gaining 23 places to get to the lead in itself is just amazing. Really, really good drive, but you've got to give it to Chepelevsky as well. He's always up there, isn't he, in this series? He's always rapid, and no matter what he's doing. As Rob Graham there is in front of McIntyre, he has to take it easy. Be careful not to go into the back of him, but it's not going to be enough for Chepelevsky. Jack McIntyre wins race 3 of the day. Fantastic drive. Chepelevsky, as we just say, coming across the line in 3rd, and Lugo Vickery just beats Josh Thompson to it as well to get that final podium spot. Really good drive by Lugo Vickery there. He gained 9 places. Mikel Garcia, really good drive, up 25 places, the biggest mover in the field, to finish 5th. And Dan Hunt finishing in 6th place as well, with Nick McCarron and Steve Hefford 7th and 8th. Carl Jacquelet there finishing in 9th, with Carl Hardy in 10th. So really decent spread of drivers again. I mean, we've used the word spread a lot tonight, to be fair, but It's true. It's really been a level playing field, I think, with these ovals. Obviously, if you can stay out of the incidents and just stay in someone's slipstream and just keep it clean, then yeah, you're pretty much guaranteed a decent result, aren't you?
Yeah, the action has been pretty good today. The drivers have been scorching the BSR, the Phoenix International Raceway. I don't think of a toast and something pun around there, but we have got everybody finished. And without further ado, we can bring up the results for the third race of the day. We've got the reverse grid to come in a moment. Plenty of action, loads of crashes in the BSR MX5 as well. From what I can tell, only 19 or so cars finishing on the lead lap. We may have any. Oh no, we did get the results off. I was just worrying there for a moment that we wouldn't. But either way, Jack McIntyre wins the race. Stanislav Chepelevsky finishing in second. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chaz, but is that 2 wins in a row for Jack McIntyre?
I believe it is. Yeah, I believe it is. I can just remember. Yeah, it was another Momo car in race 1 as well. So
yeah, it's cool.
they're,
Yeah,
sweeping at the moment.
They've only got one more race to go. They could they could literally sweep the evening because some of the Momo cars towards the rear of the field may get put onto the pole. Stanislav Chepelevsky finishing in second, then Tyler Lugo Vickery finishing in third. Josh Thompson in the end, the Manxman couldn't get that podium place, couldn't catch up to the leaders either. In the end, he was pipped to third place by just a few tenths of a second. 5th place for Mikael Garcia, 6th for Dan Hunt, 7th for Nick McCarron, then 8th Steve Hefford, 9th Carl Jacquelette, and 10th for Carl Hardy. I think the time differences you're getting here on the right are the differences in terms of best lap time. I think so.
Unfortunately, just to intercede the overlay crash 3 laps
Yeah.
to go, so that was why the undefined popped up and things like that. So yeah, so it's not got the proper race results there, but I think the positions are correct. Just the timings are.
Marco Barbanera finishing in 11th, 12th Jack Ashton, 13th for Craig Jones, then Mick Barry, Jason Cooper, Rob Graham, Kip Stevens finishing in 17th place in the end, then George Simmons, and moving on further back, 19th place for Alessandro Dalladoni, 20th for Luke Cooper, 21st for Alex Cioni. All of these cars crashed out of the race, and getting the iRacing sim timing up, I can tell you that all of these cars from pretty much from Simmons onwards failed to finish. So if we do get a full 16th place, Rob Graham will be on the pole. That's quite remarkable. Is Cerny having issues? Knowles having issues as well. Jamie Ayres, Anthony Mott, David Ayres, Charlie Summers, Max Wright, Laura Bond, Adam Delmont, Ben Mears, Scott Malcolm, the Automech teammate of Mears, Pierre Van Gaal, our race 1 winner. It's been downhill ever since for poor Pete. Then Simone Nicastro, he was gone straight away in race 1. He was gone just a little bit later in race 3. And then Azam McNally and Jordan Giddings, the 2 cars that were out of the race pretty much from the get-go. Right then, those are the results. Alex, it's the final reverse grid of the evening. Who's going to be on pole for the 4th and final race?
Yeah, just a little reminder again, as we're new to the channel, we obviously spin the wheel so that the guys can't try and finish in a position that will get them on the pole position. So it's completely random, as you can see. And yeah, lots of different segments on there. The falls are effectively the minus and count back from the person that's won that down to see who it's going to be. Yeah, so let's give it a spin and see where it's going to end up.
22 in race 1, 23 in race 2. What are we going to get here for race 3 to set the grid for race 4? The maximum we can get is 16. What's it going to be?
4 minus 4.
4 minus 4. So, Chaz, who's that going to be on the pole for the final race?
Just having a quick check for you now. Looking down the order then. -4, you say. So it would have been Kip Stevens, but instead we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be Craig Jones on pole position with Jack Ashton, our very own Marco Barbanera, and Carl Hardy. So another one of the Result Clothing cars near the front of the grid for the final race of the evening.
Yeah, it's a survival of the fittest here. Many of these drivers, I think, will have been mightily relieved just to get to the ends, like Marco Barbanera. Only 13 cars have been reversed for the final race of the day. A true testament to the battle scars and whatnot that have occurred here at Phoenix International Raceway. We are going to take our final commercial break of the day, and then we are going to be back for race 4 and a little bit of a roundup of the evening after that as well, with who knows, maybe some interviews. So make sure you stay with us here on the iRacing Esport Network for the BSR MX5 Autumn Cup at Phoenix International Raceway.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
The following is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network. Getting set here for the final race of the day here in the British Sim Racers BSR MX5 Autumn Cup. Of course, we're Apex Racing TV, bringing you all the action tonight, as we will every other week. And of course, plenty more action to look forward to as well with BSR TC, which has an off week this week, a rare off week, because the points are getting set for the showdown, the final 5 weeks of the season, which begin in earnest next week. But less of that, more of this. The cars are getting underway on the formation lap. Chaz, what's the top 12 looking like us?
Well, once again, we use the word spread tonight. It's a very interesting spread of talent. We've got Craig Jones and Jack Ashton on the front row, Marco Barbanera and Carl Hardy on row 2, with Carl Jacqueline in 5th. Steve Hefford on 6th place on the grid now. He's going to be one of my shouts for the win in this, because Steve's always been quick. He always gets caught up really unluckily in incidents. It's usually like a car rejoining or coming back on the track. Just takes him out. Nick McCarron also really quick up there. So is Dan Hunt. Mikael Garcia has been good tonight. Josh Thompson's always fast. Tyler Lugo-Vickery, Stelian Chepolewski. I mean, there's a lot of quick guys at the front of this. Obviously, race 3 winner as well, Jack McIntyre, and race 2 winner, Jack McIntyre. Mick Barry, Jason Cooper. The whole list. There's just really quick drivers dotted about the field. And yeah, this is going to be a frantic one, and a great way to end the evening as we get towards the green flag.
22 cars finished race 1, 23 race 2, only 17 finished race 3, green flag in the air, and we're racing for the final race of the day here in the BSR MX5 at Phoenix International Raceway. Craig Jones, great start in the Result Clothing car. They had 3 of them at the front in race 3. They weren't able to capitalise on it, but look at Marco Barbanera, turns him around!
No!
Marco Barbanera, what are you doing, man? He just turns him around, and that is the end of his race. Marco Barbanera leads, and what a dramatic start to the race, Chaz. Oh dear.
Yeah, really dramatic start, and I'm absolutely amazed that no one else got involved with Craig Jones there. That was unbelievable. It was Mick Barry, Adam Delmont, Adam McNally down there as well. Adam was saying earlier, he was actually saying between races to me tonight, he was a bit frustrated. He got caught up in an incident or two, and that's not going to help him. But as we see then, Hefford and Barbanera and Ashton are at the front, still battling away, but really good start for Barbanera. Shame about the contact. I'm sure he'll be kicking himself, but like I said before, Steve Hefford's going to be one of my shouts for this one. Really, really close racing though, and you can see they're just too wide all the way down the order.
Well, there's nothing he can do now. He's just got to put it in the back of his mind and just get on with it. What's happened has happened, and this could end up in a cataclysmic error there as Barbanera leads, Ashton second, Thompson third. Carl Hardy is now trying to get involved as well. Look at Chepelevsky. Oh, there's a crash.
I've got that as an Apex car going around. There's George Simmons.
Yeah. Free wide into turn 3. There's the Youth Energy car, Jack Ashton getting forced out wide. The Momo car, Steve Hefford now trying to take advantage. Josh Thompson's back up there in second place. He's already gained 8 spots. Of course, it was a very small reverse grid, only 13 cars reversed. Therefore, it didn't take too long for the fast cars, the cars that were at the front in race 3, to get back to the front again. And look at what's going on here as Jack Ashton gets forced out wide, and this allows everybody else underneath him to take advantage.
I'm making some questionable noises there. I'm really sorry, but that was Carl Hardy. Just came down a little bit then on Jack McIntyre, made a tiny bit of contact, and these guys are really getting away with a lot tonight, it seemed, as Josh Thompson and Steve Hefford are really closely side by side. Then Steve Hefford going to the inside of Barbanera, great manoeuvre, really, really strong and just decisive move down the inside. Dan Hunt's trying to go with him. Sorry, it's Chepelevsky, I apologise. Dan Hunt's on the outside in that number 51 car there. And Josh Thompson, very close to that wall, wasn't he?
I think that, there's a spin in the background. That was Nick McCarron, I think, in the Momo car. Might not have been, actually. I think it was someone further back. But either way, I think Thompson...
Oh, no! That's Barbanera. It's a check-up. There's a lot of cars involved there.
Many cars involved. Oh, Kip Stevens being one of them. Oh, and it's carrying on. That's a Youth Energy car.
Mears was then into Swift Cooper car. Summers, Delmont there. He's hopefully going to avoid it as he comes through, but real shame, another incident there, but that's what you get on ovals, I suppose. Chepelevsky down the inside of Hefford with round the outside. That's Ashton 3 wide into the last corner. There's a slow car in front of them, and this could spice things up a little bit. That's Luke Cooper getting right out of the way there in the number 6 car.
Down to the apron.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued to see how Josh Thompson's going to fare here. He couldn't keep up with Stalin Chepelevsky in race 3, and he's going to have to try and hold him back for as long as he can, but it looks like the Chepelevsky is about to hit the front. Thompson's going to power his way around the outside, though, and he avoids the wall this time, and now that he's on the outside, he might have the opportunity to try and take the lead here. We're going to get the perfect view of it from on board with Steve Hefford here. We've got Jack Ashton to our right as well. Up the inside, is anybody going to go? Nope. Going to go straight to the bottom, get a bit of that apron on the inside. That doesn't really help the car turn at all, really. Ashton and Thompson trying to scatter their way through on the outside, and somebody's about to join them. That's Jack McIntyre. Damage as well to the car. McIntyre's up the inside going into the first corner, and is through. Who's that on the outside then? That's Dan Hunt. McIntyre's gained 9 places. He's up to 4th, and he could get about 2 more, I think, Chaz, here. He's surging his way forward.
Yeah, I'm going to put his name down as a race 4 winner as well here. He's doing an absolutely brilliant job as always, but Dan Hunt there was really scaring Steve Hefford. I know that Steve races in VR, and that's going to be scary for Nick McCarron on the inside, seeing these guys come past like that, but yeah, Steve races in VR, so I imagine that was pretty focusing there. I bet he was looking left and right like a madman, nearly breaking his neck trying to avoid Dan Hunt and Jack McIntyre. They're back to 2x2 then. Josh Thompson to the front, Chepelevsky's down to 3rd or 4th, depending on where the nose of Dan Hunt is. Hefford's trying to join him, but it's Jack Ashton as well, up into 2nd place. These guys are just going to keep swapping all the way to the end, I feel.
I think even if you've got VR, you're going to be in tunnel vision right now. Just look forward and hope that everyone else to your left, to your right are doing their own thing, because the spotter will help you, and if you've got it turned off, well, it's pretty much damn near suicidal. 4 wide!
Speaking of suicidal.
Yes, up the inside. Thompson has it by a nose. I think the finish line in real life at Phoenix is in that part of the circuit now. It's remarkable. Round the outside goes Dan Hunt then. He is officially in the lead. He'll get the credit if he's able to hold it for another 2 corners. That was somebody else getting lapped, so another severely wrecked car. Up the inside goes Thompson. Everybody on the outside. There's a very slow car here that might hamper things. Who's going to lead this lap then? It's going to be Dan Hunt by an inch. And now it's Thompson on the inside with, he's joined by Ashton. And at the back of the inside queue, it's from a mile away, is Jack McIntyre. I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Just
and on the outside, yeah, he is. He's at the inside, and on the outside, it's Dan Hunt.
Hunt hits the wall.
Oh, and that's a touch.
Oh no, Chepelevsky and Ashton, does he save that? Oh, Stelian Chepelevsky, beautiful stuff.
Oh!
Oh no, Laura Bond straight into the back of
Oh.
him. There's a youth energy car in there as well. Oh, that completely negated his save.
Oh, and again.
Who goes Max right? There's just very
dear.
little you can do when you're in that scenario if you're Stelian
Oh.
Chepelevsky. That was a real shame, but I don't know what Laura was doing there. It was similar to an incident we saw in BSR TC last week where someone just came out the last chicane, there was a slow car and he just piled straight into it. So that's made it a little bit easier for these guys now. It's split it up quite a lot because obviously Ashton had to get out of it not to hit the spinning Chepelevsky. I was just about to say before that, this has been a real sort of show of how close you can race on iRacing. It's amazing the respect between these drivers. It's a fantastic sim for this sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. You don't get anything like this in anything really other than iRacing, and it just means though that the amount of cars that we've got wrecked, it's just going to mean more obstacles for these guys. They're like, oh, this is not going to go well. There's smoke everywhere. There's a car billowing out plumes of the stuff in front, and Thompson, he's going to have to make a last-minute decision here. And credit to the car on the inside for not causing too many issues. It's going to be Thompson that leads the race at the halfway mark. Very slow on the exit there by Dan Hunt. He was getting pushed by Jack Ashton as they crossed the line. That 14 of 28, it's going to be McIntyre that's going to try and take second place away here. Thompson has a bit of an advantage now. He's got 2 temps, which is probably the biggest that he's got all day. 18 cars left out of the 35 that started. We're only halfway through.
Crazy stuff, isn't it? All these laps are flying by, but the racing doesn't change. I was just going to say as well, big respect to Jack McIntyre like last time round. As soon as he saw that back marker and he knew he was on the inside, he was the first guy to get on the brakes as these guys are literally nose to tail down the straight. But Jack saw obviously a situation developing in front of him, and he got straight out of it and let the other guys peel in front. But he's still third, so he's not lost out a lot as Hunt was really wide there. I think he's struggling at the moment keeping momentum off the corner, isn't he?
I'm guessing, I didn't actually see the ambient conditions here, but as you can see, it is pretty sunny around Phoenix today. And I just wonder for race 4 whether it's going to be the hottest conditions of the evening so far, and the tyres may be starting to struggle a little bit. These MX5s are definitely not built for racing on ovals, but well, they definitely produce fantastic racing here. And the front 5, the Fab 5 as it stands, made up of Thompson, Hunt, then McIntyre, Ashton, and then Steve Hefford. The next car after that is 4 seconds away. It's Simone Nicastro. He's had 3 non-finishes pretty much. He's currently sat in 6th place, 27 positions gained.
Yeah, really good effort by Nicastro so far, ahead of the likes of Jamie Ayres, Cherney, David Ayres, and then Simmons rounding out your top 10. Jordan Giddings up 24 places, as you can see on the left there. Adam McNally up 21, so, well, so it's just gone down a position actually, so now it's 20 as he loses place to Garcia. But yeah, there's a really, really good sort of mix of people that are gaining places, and you can tell the difference in the sort of levels of talent that we've got as McIntyre now to the inside of this. They're going to nearly go 5 wide down this straight. I didn't think we were going to see that this evening. Just about the, well, I think it's probably best for everyone if they don't go for that then. McIntyre to the inside. Beautifully done. Thompson washing wide, but Dan Hunt gives him the space. Jack Ashton and Steve Hefford still side by side behind them. Then Steve, I imagine, is going to get a good run off here. Thompson gets a bit of a slide on. They're really close 3 wide now. They're not very spread out down that straight. They're going to a little bit of a red arrows formation into turn 1. And Thompson's still in the lead, carrying that momentum. Brilliant stuff so far by Josh. As Steve's going to try and go for that gap around the outside, then this just shows you, look at the speed difference. Doesn't look like much when you're on an external camera. When you're on board, you can see the cars just inching towards you. And it really does make you realise the difference. I think Steve might be struggling with a little bit of front end damage there. You can just see the front left of the bonnet has been pushed up. Thompson seems to go a bit slow on the inside there, and Ashton's going to come across. He's got to be really careful. I'm literally like leaning back from my screen watching this. Then Steve Hefford goes around the outside. Really, really good stuff by these guys.
You mentioned RAF formation. I think if we were to have a crash with these lots, I think it would be something that would emulate an aeroplane crash here. Look at this stuff going on. We're on lap 19 of 28. Can we add a 0 onto that lap, please? Because we want to see this racing carry on for ages. Here we go. We're going to start lap 20 when we get to line. This time it's Hefford on the bottom. Thompson's now been shuffled back to the second row. Now here comes the Youth Energy car, Jack Ashton. He's brave. Thompson's very brave on the inside. I think he realises what could have happened there and gets on the brake sensibly. But now he's coming back into the equation again. He's up the inside. He might not have the best run on the exit. And now here comes Dan Hunt pushing his way to the front and pushing Jack Ashton slightly into the lead.
I think Jack Ashton wins the award for biggest man fruits going into that first corner there. He really launched it into the inside, starting off in the middle. But Hefford, having to get out of it there to avoid Dan Hunt. Josh Thompson's faded back a little bit this lap. He's just had to be a bit more careful, I think. So he's just taking it nice and easy now. But this is really, really strong stuff. They're very, very close, very respectful. McIntyre clipped the wall last time round out of turn 1. But he's doing a fine job so far to still be in it. These cars have got a few little dents and bangs on them, but sturdy little bit of kit, the MX5. If you just give it a couple of little knocks, and they'll very easily get to the end, I'm pretty sure, if they keep this up.
Familiar trends from race 3. Thompson's just starting to slowly drift back from the lead. I say that, he's now straight on them straight away. He's on it like a car bonnet, as I think one of the YouTubers I watched say. But yeah, with 22 laps completed, everybody here is having kittens. I'm sure you are on the YouTube and the YouTube chat as well, because what we're seeing here is fantastic racing, and hopefully we get to see this every week here at Phoenix International Raceway in the BSR MX5 Autumn Cup on the iRacing Esports Network. As I'm back here with Chaz Dracos and Alex Simpson doing the cameras, as he has been all evening. Here it is from the chopper over the line onto lap 24. 5 laps to go, including this one. It's Ashton, then it's Hunt, then it's Josh Thompson, then it's Jack McIntyre. Chaz's pick to win this race yet again, and then it's Steve Hefford in 5th. We'll see if any of these positions change, and no doubt they will between now and the end of the race.
Yeah, it's just constant switching of positions. McIntyre back down the inside then. Go on, my son. Dan Hunt's going to try and get the slipstream off him. Jack Ashton's going to try and carry the momentum. You can see he had to get out of it a little bit there because he was just washing wide. McIntyre goes right to the fence. Oh, Ashton's blocked in. Thompson's pushing Hunt.
Went from 5th to 1st there, McIntyre, then in the space of a lap. Remarkable.
Just shows you how quickly it can change, doesn't it? You see Steve Hefford in 5th place now. You've got to wonder whether he can do the same thing, but 3 wide then between the 3 middle ones. That's Hunt, Ashton and Thompson. There's a slower car ahead of them, one of the Automac Knock Hill cars. Thompson down the inside. McIntyre holding the forefront. Oh, just disappearing then. That's the internet in the Isle of Man for you. As he's just pushed into the outside then. Steve's just sort of watching this at the moment. But you've got to think that he might, and very just might, hold it back for 2 laps to go, let's say. And then, well, hopefully, make the most of the slipstream and get to the front.
Credit to Josh Thompson. I think he must have heard me, because immediately he upped the pace and got that 2nd place back. Really intrigued to see what's going to happen here. McIntyre's Chaz's pick. I'll say Josh Thompson just to be different. I wonder who yours is if you're watching at home. Please have you with us, and you can see McIntyre. He had to get on the brakes there. He was so far wide. He was almost certainly heading to the wall. Lap 26 to 28. 3 laps to go. They're coming up to some traffic as well. Didn't see who it was. It is further up the field, but it's P17. That is Benjamin Mears, so they're coming up to lap again. They shouldn't have too much trouble negotiating him. No, they don't. In fact, they're all single file now, so I wonder if we'll see them start to fan out when we get to the line and get the 2 to go.
Yeah, it's really getting to crunch time now. And this is what I was saying before about being strategic. You've got to think about the slipstream that you're going to get. You don't want to be that car that's at the very front if the guy's behind you, sorry, quick enough. If you get towards the back of a train like this, then obviously you'll be able to get the slipstream wherever you want to go. So Steve Hefford, it's Hunt in the wall. Oh no, just got wobble on there.
Yeah,
I don't think Steve could get out of that in time there. I don't think he quite expected the car to wobble that much. I think when he hit it, I expected him to stay straight. As Max
no!
Are they going to save it?
Synchronised
saves it. Beautiful.
Wow.
Well, that's not the best sort of synchronised save you've seen in years, then I don't know what is. But Jack Ashton now to the 4. He's got only 4 more corners to go, and he's going to win race 4. Steve Hefford back up to 2nd. He's back up to 2nd somehow. His teammate McIntyre is going to be battling him to the line, but Jack Ashton then, he's going to be laughing all the way to the bank. He might have made contact with Chepolewski earlier, turning around, but that's going to made up for it for him. He turns through turn 3. Hefford in 2nd there ahead of McIntyre. Great battle further down with Nick Castro and Cherney. Go on, son, save that. No, you've not got that. Or have you? No, you're not. But it's going to be Ashton to take the win. Fantastic final lap there. McIntyre eventually 2nd with Hefford in 3rd. Jack McIntyre giving it some drifty poos for style points. David Ayres. That's Nick Castro surely. Ayres finishing 8th behind Giddings in 7th. And
I still can't cross the line.
Still not going to cross the line. Don't turn it round in the middle of the road, son.
Reverse, there we go. There we go, that's lovely. And a J-turn maybe as well. No, just a reverse across the line.
Oh, he's just going to paint the wall green instead, but real shame there for Nicastro to lose that. But there's your race winner then, Ashton. He's going to try some sort of J-turn and hopefully get some donuts on the go. There you go. Brilliant stuff, but that was really exciting racing there. Fantastic to see. It's just a shame that it ended with the contact, but that double save was beautiful, Adam.
Yeah, Thompson and McIntyre, 2 drivers at the top of their game there. It didn't affect them too badly. Thompson finished 4th in the end, and McIntyre just pipped Hefford to 2nd, just when it looked like the Hefford and Hunt had completely written themselves out of it. Dan Hunt finished 15th in the end after all that, and I think something else may have kicked off as well on the last lap, but Nicastro, trying to get the car across the line, he was able to do so in the end. And if that wasn't a good enough advert for you to drop the iRacing Esports Network a subscribe, then I don't know what will. But let's run you through the finishing order then. Jack Ashton wins. It's been a Momo night up until that finish. Youth Energy crashed that party and gets the win. Jack McIntyre in 2nd, a 1-2 for Jack. Steve Hefford in 3rd, then Josh Thompson, the man from the Isle of Man, finishing in 4th. Swift Cooper Esports team in 5th with Alex Cioni, the German. Jamie Ayres 6th and 7th for Jordan Giddings. He heads home the best of the rest, really. We only had 14 cars on the lead lap after all of this. David Ayres then, Adam Delmont, George Simmons. Adam McNally finishing in 11th. Simone Nicastro, who was on for a top 5 finish if that contact with Alex Cioni going through turn 3 hadn't happened. But still, after 3 DNFs, I think he'll take a 12th place, and he was the 2nd highest AM driver too. Rob Graham in 13th, then Max Wright 14th, then the cars 1 lap down or more. Dan Hunt, Carl Hardy, then Ben Mears 3 laps down. We saw him getting lapped with a few laps to go, the Belgian. Then Mikel Garcia finishing in 18th place and moving on further back. All of these cars having issues. 35 cars started the race. You can see them all there. Anthony Mott, Scott Malcolm, Tyler Lugo Vickery. Many of these cars involved in wrecks had just basically snowballed for about 2 or 3 corners. Laura Bonds, Nick McCarron, Charlie Summers. 3 Swift Cooper Esports cars all involved there. Charlie Summers, Luke Cooper and Jason Cooper. Then the 2 Simmortal cars of Peter Knowles and Carl Jacquelet. Kip Stevens was out very early on. There was Alessandro Dalladoni. Marco Barbanera wiped out Craig Jones going through turn 2. And then swiftly went about 3 laps later. Peter Van Gool, ever since the win, 3 consecutive zeros. Then Mick Barry and Craig Jones, 2 Result Clothing cars. They started pretty much at the front, Result Clothing, and they had 2 cars bringing up the rear at the end. Pretty much what sums up has been a wild and wacky evening here. Phoenix International Raceway, as you can see on the replay there from the far angle. Marco Barbanera eliminating Craig Jones, basically setting the benchmark for crazy 4th race champ.
Yeah, it was a very frantic and energetic race from all accounts, really. Multiple incidents, a lot of overtaking. You can see the incident there that started at turn 3, just going on in the background. Cars mounting the wall there as well, but you can see just from the people that did get through it cleanly, it was brilliant racing all night, really. Other than the incidents, of course, but it was great to see, if I'm honest with you.
We'll have a word with Alex Simpson in a moment. I think we may have some interviews, and we do. We've got Jack Ashton joining us in the commentary box, the race 4 winner. Hello.
Hello.
Well, it was looking like it was going to be a pretty close finish, but then right in front of you, it all went off between Josh Thompson and Chad McIntyre, and you were able to go and get the win. I'm sure you're pretty delighted with that.
Yeah, absolutely elated. I mean, that whole race, I was just shaking with like adrenaline. It was just unbelievable. Wasn't sure about the whole oval kind of thing before I started, but it was really, really good fun. Yeah, on that last lap, I see Josh go on the inside of Jack when I sort of had the overlap on him already. I decided to back out of it because I thought I might be able to get the run on the exit, and they both collided, so I sort of took advantage of that, which is pretty lucky, really.
How was the car handling out there? Because I think MX5's rear wheel drive, but was there was there too much understeer going through turn 4? Because that wall, it comes up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I found turn 2 worst out of a lot of them. If you just get a bit on the throttle a bit too early, it just sort of decides to wash out quite easily. It's more better to take a lot of speed off early on and then get the speed out the exit of the corner, and then you can get a big run for the turn 3. But yeah, I did find the car set up really, really well. I didn't really change anything really. I thought I thought I was going to have to do some drastic changes from our normal setup for this round, but I kept it exactly the same, and it seemed to work tonight. So just held my own and sort of did well, really. I think I've got a few good results, so I'm happy with tonight.
Pretty good. Which line was the better for you? The inside line looked like you were looks like if you were on it, you were losing speed on the exit, while on the outside, it almost helps you really.
Yeah, the outside line is key. I found it out yesterday in the practice. It's just you lose a little bit on the entry to the corner, but it's so minor considering the amount you gain on the exits to the corner. The speed, you can stay there all day long with someone on your inside, and they'll never get past you. It's just sort of if someone decides to dive up your inside and then blocks your outside line on the exit, then you have to back out of it. That's the only time someone can get on your inside, but realistically, the outside line is the best line out of a lot of them.
I believe we're returning to the road courses next week. Are you pretty glad that's happening now, or have you got a taste for the oval?
Well, I've always had a sort of oval in me, but I never thought I'd like it this much. But yeah, I definitely think I'd enjoy a bit more oval in the future. That's for sure, because that was exhilarating to say the least. Millimeters between bumpers and stuff. I thought it was great fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back on a normal track again, because it gives it a bit more technicality to it and improves my driving style anyway. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Very well. Before we let you go and celebrate the victory further, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for the stream, doing an awesome job as usual, and all the team as well, Youth Energy. I know we're a bit low on numbers this week, but I'm sure we'll be back in fighting action next week and be strong as ever.
Great. Well, it was a privilege watching that. That was great entertainment, and well done on the win. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get to speak to you next week wherever we are.
Thank you.
Jack Ashton there of Youth Energy. Really, really grateful to get that win, I imagine, in the last race. He certainly had to fight for it and battle lap after lap with those top six. And, well, you can see it obviously worked out for him in the end. Someone, unfortunately, it didn't work out for in that last race was Josh Thompson. Josh, how did you find tonight then?
Frustrating. Yeah, just manic and just frustrating in a way.
Did you find it fun? Was it, obviously the racing itself was a bit chaotic, as you say, but I mean, did you find it fun just getting the car around the track and having a bit of door-to-door with everyone?
Oh yeah, like race 3 and 4, absolutely fantastic, especially the front guys, so like Cheppy and Heffen and stuff. I was like, you know there's going to be respect, so you know like we like 4 wide in turn 1 and stuff, like you couldn't do that in race 2 coming through and stuff like that. So it made the racing really fun. Like every lap you was having to constantly think, which you never really get.
Is it something that you reckon the BSR would welcome back again? Do you reckon it's something they should do?
I think so, but I've suggested we do on a bigger track, because at this track, the way the draft where it got you so you cut up to them, but you couldn't get past. So I was thinking maybe it sounds a bit daft, but like Daytona would be perfect. You have to think. Because here you had to think, like, I knew if you dropped back, you had to be on the outside line to get past people here. So I, like, in race 3, I didn't do that. I held the inside for the entire lap and entire race and just dropped backwards because of it. Whereas that race, I dropped back to 4th or 5th and then hit my way back around the outside because that's the way it worked. Whereas Daytona, you got multiple options, which would be interesting to watch for you guys. It'd be a bit of a long race, but, you know, might spice it up a bit.
I wonder if the MX5 would last the distance if you're on full throttle for just non-stop.
Yeah, you could do.
You never know.
You never use sixth gear anyway, and so maybe not.
Talladega, 5 wide.
Yeah,
come on, let's do
that. Yeah.
Agreed. I was saying that was also a suggestion. I'll do that.
Yeah, let's. You don't need restrictor plates on MX5, so let's work these things into 6th gear and get to Talladega. But I'm trying to look at where the next round is, but I can't seem to see it on the calendar. Do you know where it is next? I know it's a bit daft to ask you, but
no idea. I just turn up.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in that one. Anyway. I'm sure we'll speak to you after that one.
Maybe wherever BSRTC is.
That's very true.
Because the showdown is next to match with the showdown, so where?
It's Road America. It's Road America then. That's where the
God, so
I was going
Okay.
to. I'm going to say you're looking forward to that one, but I think you just have
Not in the
question.
MX5. Not in the MX5. Kia, yes. MX5 no. So, again, it'd be nice to go back to normal road, but that track's, I find, probably one of the hardest to race around. So we'll have to see what happens really.
Well, on Apex, we've seen some brilliant racing there in the MX5 in the Rikmatech Sports Car Series recently. I was commentating that one with Alex not long ago, and to be fair, like you were saying tonight about slipstreams, actually, it's quite an interesting point because there, the straights are long enough where you can get alongside and then make the move and obviously try and outdo someone on the brakes. So it might be a bit of an equaliser for everyone. So hopefully we'll see you doing pretty well there, Josh.
Yeah, hopefully just stay out of trouble and claw back some points I've missed.
Yeah, indeed. Well, before we let you go, mate, is there anyone you give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, you guys did a fantastic job tonight, especially with it being on the Esports Network, so that's great. And everyone at Result Clothing, because without them, wouldn't even have a team. So thank you to those guys.
Brilliant stuff. Well, we wish you luck for next time, Josh. We'll speak to you then, mate.
See you later.
I think we've got one more.
I don't know who it is.
Yeah, this is the trouble, isn't it? I think it might be Tyler. Yeah, Tyler Vickery. So, but yeah, if you're going to join the TeamSpeak, the Discord, do make sure you change your name on there so we know who you are. We'll take a punt and hope for the best.
Tyler, welcome to the booth. We've just dragged you up here then for the final interview of the evening. How do you feel that tonight went?
Much better than some of the previous seasons, to say the least. The fourth race, that could have gone a little better. Had nowhere to go after, I believe, Chipletsky got turned and Laura Bond didn't. I know she didn't react quick enough and just wiped him out, and I had not enough quick time to react to avoid it and got caught up in that. Ended my fourth race, but I'm happy with how I did all the other three races. Race 1 to 3 after surprised with what I wasn't expecting.
Fair enough. Well, we've seen you in just a couple of rounds recently in the MX5 with BSR. Is it a car you're enjoying driving?
Oh yes, I've ran a lot of this car in the official series. I ran the fall season last year before I got caught up with schooling and some other real life stuff, especially with work, especially with me living out in the U.S. So it makes it a little difficult was trying to keep up with the schedule, but I'm hoping I can be able to keep it up this time around.
You've certainly been doing well in the car, and it looks like you're agreeing with it on track as well, which is good. We head over to Road America for the next round of the series. Is that something that you're looking forward to racing?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to racing it. I'm getting some help from, I just recently, starting this week, I joined up with Youth Energy racing team, so they've definitely been helping me out a little bit, getting a little quicker. I think it was safe to say being able to get some extra help from their setups that they were using, and modifying a little bit with all of my oval expertise from running a lot of NASCAR races and a few other oval series. So I was kind of happy with how I ran the car. So I'm really excited with being on a team and getting to learn the ropes a little more.
Yeah, they're a really good bunch of guys over at Youth Energy. We've been commentating on them for quite a while, and I mean, spoken to them quite a lot in person as well. So it's good to see that they've taken you under your wing, and it's a good sort of partnership. It's working well. We're just going to obviously wrap up for the evening. We're starting to run out of time as far as I know. So before we let you go, Tyler, does anyone you want to give a quick shout out to, mate?
Yeah, I gotta give shout outs to Youth Energy, you guys for the broadcast in it. I got 2 extra people I gotta shout out. Shout out for PH Aware for pulmonary hypertension disorder, and then also the college I'm getting ready to start, Full Sail University, as I'm going to be starting next month at Full Sail University for Dan Patrick School of Broadcasting.
Brilliant stuff. Well, all the best for that, Tyler. Smashing stuff to hear, and hope to speak to you at another point.
Most definitely.
Thanks very much. Tyler Vickery there, newly joining Youth Energy, of course. Really good racing team. They've been quite successful in most of the BSR series that we commentate on, and they just seem to be getting better and better, actually. They're one of those teams that's gradually sort of making their way up their order, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And they've been in multiple different series as well, Youth Energy. The first time I think I came across them was in the Club Series, I think. I think they were in that. And then they've moved on to Porsches, BSRTC as well. They've got a strong contingent there too. And yeah, they're doing the business tonight with Jack Ashton getting the win. And if you're getting a win, then you're obviously doing something right in a series as competitive as this. Alex Simpson, final word from you on the cameras tonight. So you've seen pretty much everything, and we've pretty much seen it all, haven't we, in terms of the MX5 racing around here?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, something very different. The series doesn't normally do oval. So yeah, just the way it fell, wasn't it, tonight? First week on the iRacing eSport Network, and then we have an oval race. So back to the road next week. It was good. It was fun. I always enjoy the oval racing. To be honest, it's good for a commentator's point of view. Lots of action, lots of crashes and things like that going on. And yeah, I think next week at Road America that'll be good as well. Just as you mentioned, Chaz, with the what we saw with the MX5 class in the Ritmatech Sports Car Series just a few weeks ago. There'll be lots of overtaking going on there. Of course, unlike that series where it's an endurance race, these 4 sort of 15-minute sprint races are going to mean that the drivers are going to have to go for the moves pretty much every opportunity they get. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. But again, like I say, I really enjoy the oval meets. I have seen some good oval meetings on Twin Ring Motegi, and I think that would be a good one for this series. Just a little bit longer on the straights, some a couple of totally different corners. So yeah, if they go back, that's my shout.
There we go. I would agree with that. When the BSRTC went to Twin Ring Motegi, it was very, very good. In fact, back in the day, we used to sample quite a few ovals. I think we even went to Pocono one year. Went to Twin Ring Motegi as well, and of course we end the season on the Daytona Roval. But yeah, it would be interesting to see. Well then, we are pretty much out of time here as we watch some of the replays from the action that we saw in race 4. My thanks to Chaz for joining me for this one, and for helping me into the commentary box, because I don't often do the MX5s on a Tuesday, but it fully delivered, and it'll be back either next week or in a few weeks' time, and hopefully we get to see it on the iRacing eSport Network as well. And my thanks to Alex Simpson for doing everything in terms of the stream, getting the stream set up. We aimed to be on the Apex Racing TV Facebook page today, but alas, we couldn't do everything. But it's been great to be on the iRacing eSports Network, and hopefully we can be on here a few more times before the end of the year. Thanks everybody for watching, and make sure you join us on Apex Racing TV on Thursday, next Thursday, for the BSRTC Showdown beginning. Thanks everybody, and goodbye from the BSR MX5 Autumn Cup at Phoenix International Raceway.
The following is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.